Welcome everyone to Customs Breeze, where filling out your customs form is easy breezy and in the comfort of your own home. Today we're going to be looking at the e-visa application for India. It's a very simple form to fill out. It's about 8 pages long, but in reality you're only filling out about 4 of those 8 pages. So one thing I wanted to give you a heads up is that make sure that you have all your information right by your side. Make sure you have your pictures, your passport, because you're going to have to upload a picture of yourself, and you're going to have to scan and upload the first page of your passport. But they let you know all the specifications concerning that. And another thing I wanted to let you know is make sure you read everything carefully on this form. You don't want to make any mistakes, as with any kind of official form. Make sure you check and double check, because you do not want this to be disqualified and raise any red flags. So let's get to it. I'm going to scroll down. Keep in mind that when you fill this form out, you will not have the opportunity to scroll through the whole process. You will have to click from page to page to page. But for the convenience of this video and for you to get a heads up as to what to expect when filling out this form, I can scroll down and I will give you a quick view before we do page by page of what this form looks like and what to expect. So let me scroll. So here you have the first section, and now we're going to come to the first page of the actual form. So here it is, and they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. But they're easy to answer. Just make sure you have all your information by your side. At any time, if you want to pause this video just to get a quick look, please do so. So this is just one of those forms, like any official form, where they're going to ask you all kinds of personal details, the usual that lets them know who's coming into their country and why. So as you can see, not a lot of pages that you have to actually fill out. So the last few pages are just, they're giving you specifications for the upload of the pictures. And of course, you're going to have your one page where it shows you everything that you've filled out so that you can check and double check. And if you've made any mistakes, you have the opportunity then to go back and fix it. It's like the last chance, the last call before you submit the form. So this is the last page where they're going to tell you, they have the disclaimers and some other things you need to look at. And once you've read it, yes or no, and then you have to get ready to pay. And then that's it for this video as far as any more information. But as we go down the pages, just know that after you've made your payment, you're going to expect an ETA. It's an authorization, and you'll get that through your email. And once you get that, make sure you make a copy of it, so when you arrive in India, you will be able to show them that, and then you'll get a stamp in your passport of your visa. Okay, so let us begin with the first page. So they're asking you for your passport type. So your passport type is going to be several things. For us, it's going to be the ordinary type, but there's also the official, diplomatic, service, and special type. And all of that is available once you hit this drop box, and they will give you those selections. But for our purpose, ordinary passport type. Nationality, you select what is your nationality. Port of arrival, which airport are you arriving in when you enter India, date of birth. Now, for this, just pay attention to the format. The format is date, month, year. Here in the States, we're used to doing month, day, year. But the good thing is that once you hit this box, they're going to show you a calendar so that you can fill in the necessary information, and it just formats it for you. Then you go to your email, you fill out your email, and then you re-enter it just to make sure. Then you have expected date of arrival. And again, they have the calendar for the formatting of the date. Now we're going to go to the section where it says visa service. Now I'm going to select the e-tourist visa. Now you have an option to select whatever pertains to you. For me, and for this video's purpose, it's going to be the e-tourist visa. And I'm sure a lot of people will be using the e-tourist visa. Now, once you click on this e-tourist visa, it's not going to show it on this form that I'm showing you the example, but when you fill out your form, you will see a lot of subsections. So if I were to click on e-tourist, another subsection would appear right underneath it. And just so you get a heads up, the next subsection for the e-tourist visa would be 3 choices of duration. And it will give you the choice of 30 days, 1 year, or 5 years. So you will click on however long that you're going to stay that you need that visa for. Okay, so 30 days, 1 year, or 5 years. That's the choice that you will get as a subsection underneath the e-tourist visa. And the same thing goes for all the other types of visa, the e-medical, e-business, e-conference, and e-medical attendant. They too have durations. Now, once you click on whatever duration that you need, there's yet another subsection underneath that. And for our purposes, for the e-tourist, let's say I'm selecting 1 year, 365 days. So under the subsection of that, you will have a selection, 3 selections of why you are there. The first one would be tourism, recreation, and sightseeing. The second would be meeting friends, relatives, and the third would be short-term yoga program. So just keep that in mind. You will have 2 sets of subsections underneath the e-tourist visa. Okay. Now we've done that. Now let's go to this gray section here, the CAPTCHA. And that's just to show that you're not a robot. So you will have to fill that out exactly in the blank space provided below. And then you check this section off, that you've read all the instructions. And then after that, you press continue. And for you, when you do it, it will open up the second page. But for me, all I have to do is scroll. So now you're in the second page. And so they're going to ask you your surname, which of course is your last name, your given name, which is your first name, and all these sections, make sure you read them carefully. Again, pay attention to formatting whenever there's any kind of a date thing that's involved. But the good thing is it brings up a calendar, so you're not going to really make any mistakes. So date of birth, town, city of birth, country of birth, citizenship, national ID number, religion, visible identification marks, you have tattoos or whatever, education qualification, nationality. For this sake, this is a sample, so, the sample put in Albania, but you put in your actual nationality. Did you acquire nationality by birth or naturalization? You hit this drop-down box and you select whatever's in the selection section. Have you lived for at least 2 years in the country where you are applying a visa? Yes or no? And just as a heads up, Make sure that you fill out everything that is asterisk in red. That's one. And two, make sure you read everything on the right hand side, because sometimes you'll have some kind of question or statement here, but if it doesn't pertain to you and you're like, oh wow, this has nothing to do with me, sometimes when you go over to the right side here, it'll say things like, if not applicable, please type in A, not applicable. So there you have your options. All right, so now we're going to scroll down further, and we're now into the passport details section. So make sure you have your passport by your side so you can so you can put in the number, and then you'll have the place of issue, the date of issue, the date of expiry, all those things you put down. And then you go to the next section where it says any other valid passport identity certification, and you put a yes or no, and then you fill in the rest of this information as you see it here. Once you do all of that, you hit save and continue. Now, let's say that you had to walk away and you had to do something, you would hit save and temporarily exit, knowing that you will get back to it. But if you can do it one shot, great. And I suggest that you do that. Just do it, get it over with, get all the information done in one sitting so you know that it's done and you just have to wait for authorization. All right, so finish that page, save and continue. You're going to be moving on to the third page. Now, the third page is going to ask you some other personal stuff, which is your address, your present address. Put down all the information that they're asking of you, like your street number, house number, village, town, city, country, state, province, district, postal zip code, phone number, mobile number, email address. And then, if it's the same, you click here, then permanent address. So read this carefully, make sure you fill it out correctly. And then you scroll down to the next section. And the next section is going to be family information. So it's going to ask you information about your father, and then it's going to ask you information about your mother. So name, nationality, previous nationality, place of birth, country of birth. Same thing goes for the mother. As you scroll down a little further, it's going to ask for applicant's marital status. And then there are a few other things here. It says if your parents, grandparents, paternal, maternal, or Pakistani nationals or belong to Pakistan-held area, if it's yes, then you have to give details. Once you've done that, press save and continue, and you go on to the next page, which is the fourth page. So look, we're almost done. We're almost done with the filling out. So this section is going to be about visa services. So type of visa, e-visa, visa service, e-tourist visa. And this is stuff that we had selected earlier, right? On the first page. Places to visit, fill that out. Make sure you have, if you have some kind of idea of your itinerary, put it down. Places to be visited, because we never visit just one place. We usually visit several. So you put down the other place you're going to visit. And have you booked any room in a hotel, resort, etc. through our tour operator? If it's yes, you select yes. If no, select no. And the duration of the visa, of course, we saw earlier, and I had said that I was going to do a year, 365 days, and here it is. So sometimes when you select something from a previous page, it'll show up in another page if that's what's needed. Okay, so number of entries, multiple, port of arrival in India. Remember earlier we were like, which airport are we going to be arriving in India. So this was my choice. And so you see it here as well as when I filled it out earlier in the selection box, in the drop box. Expected port of exit from India, that you're going to have to select. You may select it from it may be the same place that you entered, but it may be a different airport that you're exiting. It all depends on what your travel plans are. Some people go, they enter in the north of some place and then they exit in the south of some place. So those are going to be two different airports. Okay, so scroll down, and have you ever visited India before? So these are all questions they're going to be asking you. So just look at them carefully, fill out all the information. I'm just going to hold a moment so you can look at this page and see what is to be expected, right? Let me just go left and right so you can see the edges. Okay, so we have that and other information, countries visited in the last 10 years, and a lot of forms ask this, where you've been previously. Okay, so, and then have you visited the SAARC countries except your own country? And you're probably saying to yourself, what the hell is SAARC? Well, if you look over to the right, they explain what it is. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. So that's why I say always look at what you're filling out and to the right, because sometimes the right will explain things a little further. So as we scroll down, we see all these other things that they're asking of you. Reference name in India. So do you have a friend or a business or someone that can vouch for you, basically? And their phone number, and a reference name in Albania. So they say Albania, but it could be any place that you selected that is your home. Someone there that can vouch for you if they so choose to check. Okay, so once you've done that, just hit save and continue, scroll down, and now you're on the 5th page. And the 5th page is a yes or no, and they'll ask you like criminal questions here. Like, have you ever been arrested? Have you ever been refused entry? Have you ever been engaged in human trafficking? Have you ever been engaged in cyber crimes? All these negatives, right? So if you have, then you put yes. Like here in this sample, everything is yes, just for the hell of it, right? But usually it's all no. People always select all no. So now we're going to move further down. And once you finish this section, you just go over to this and you say, I test hereby declare that, that the information furnished above is correct. And the test is just a fake name that was given for this form, for a test for the audience, you to look at. So this would actually say your name, I, John, I, Susan, I, whatever. So I test, hereby declare that the information furnished above is correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. In case the information is found false at any stage, I'm liable for legal action, deportation, blacklisting, or any other action as deemed fit by the government of India. So basically, don't fool around. Make sure your information is correct and true. You click this, and then you hit save and continue, and you go on to the 6th page. And the 6th and 7th page is all about the photos. So look at those, follow the instructions and the specifications that they give you, and then you move on to the next page, which is going to be yet another photo that you have to upload to them. And this is going to be your passport page. So once you've done all that and you hit this little square section here where it says, I have verified that all the documents are uploaded as per the requirement. Once you've clicked that box, then you click confirm and it will take you to the next page. And the next page is just going to show you everything that you filled out on this form. It gives you the opportunity to check to see if you have everything right and correct. And if you don't, it gives you an opportunity to say, oh, I need to modify this. I need to make a few changes. Oops, I made a mistake. So all you need to do is hit the modify button here, and it will bring you back to the pages that you want to make some editing. If you have everything correct, you're looking through this and say, oh, everything looks really good here for me. So once you do that, you hit verified and continue. And once you hit that, it's going to take you to a page. It's going to explain all these things and disclaimers, and then it's going to ask you to pay. So once you've read the undertaking and you selected yes or no, then you're going to select pay now, or you can, sit back and do what you need to do and say pay later. But either way, you're going to have to pay online. So keep that in mind. Once you do that, let's say you pay now, you get all your credit cards that you're going to pay it on, whatever, blah, 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 whatever form. And then that's it. That's the end of this video. And I hope that this video was informative. I hope that you were able to get all that you needed to get from this. If you have any questions, please visit our website at customsbreeze.com. That's customsbreeze.com, customsbreeze.com. And have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you again.